Just a few days remain of the summer transfer window in 2023, and it is time to break down the latest Nottingham Forest transfer news. And in the last week, it's gone pretty hectic. 2 players have signed since the last roundup video, and there's quite a few in the pipeline to potentially join before Friday. If you want to make sure you stay up to date with these latest transfer rumours and learn about them, then please make sure you do hit the like button. Subscribe to Rads if you're new so you don't miss a single thing on the channel, including vlogs, these videos, all sorts of stuff. You'll enjoy it. Starting with Gonzalo Montiel officially joining Nottingham Forest last Wednesday from Sevilla on an initial loan deal with the option to buy, and it appears like it's a mandatory option to buy, so there's a very good chance he will join us next summer. How will he fit in? Will he be the replacement to Serge Aurier, who has been linked with a move away? I'd be very much against that happening, because I do not think we should be getting rid of Serge. Or is he just there to offer competition, and it would be some incredible competition for Serge Aurier. He was on the bench against Man United at the weekend, did not come on. There's a very good chance we could very well see him in the cup game against Burnley. Hopefully we do. Another done deal. Again, I mentioned this player last week as well. Wasn't too sure how likely this one was, but as it turns out, it was very likely because, well, he's joined us. Andre Santos, a Brazilian wonder kid from Chelsea, officially joins Nottingham Forest, only 19 years of age. Again, I mentioned this last week, still quite a low profile on what kind of player we can expect from him because he is still so young and he isn't quite that much evidence as to what kind of player he is at the moment, but you can guarantee he is going to be full of flair and energy just like every Brazilian player normally is. I'm not too sure how we're going to juggle it, to be honest, because him coming on loan to Forest from Chelsea, you'd expect him to play, well, most minutes, but I don't know how he's going to get into the side with how important Yates, Mangala and Danilo are, and then the fact that we're going to be signing another midfielder potentially. I'll get onto those in just a moment. I'm not sure how we're going to juggle Santos, but I do hope we see a fair amount of him. A few confirmed deals out in the last week. We've got Omar Richards joining Olympiacos on loan for the season. Makes sense, not played a single game of football for Forest or even been seen in a Forest shirt, so yep, go out and get some minutes, mate. You know, you need to go and get some fitness back up first and foremost, and I don't even know if he is fit to play yet. So yeah, hopefully we do see a beneficial loan from Omar Richards. Tyrese Forner joins Derby County for an undisclosed fee. Probably a packet of crisps and a Freddo Frog, really, knowing Derby. But yeah, I mean, you know, you could have been a bit more diplomatic in joining Derby instead of just doing like the most pro-Derby caption ever. But other than that, fair enough, Tyrese, you know. Being real, he was never going to get into our team. He was quite a good player. I remember he played in the League Cup against Bradford. I believe he got man of the match in that game as well. Did very well, was loaned out to multiple clubs, but he was never going to get into our team. So he went to League One instead. Brennan Johnson. Now, it seems to be getting rather spicy now. It is the final week of the window and clubs are thinking, you know what, do we gamble on £50 million for a lad that's only got a year's worth of Premier League experience? Well, yes, seemingly, because it is being heavily reported that Spurs have made a £50 million offer for Brennan Johnson. Potentially, we could be getting some players in return. This could be Davinson Sanchez, who has been linked with us separately, but it could be related, and Brian Gill as well, who hasn't particularly done much at Spurs. He is a winger, so it would be a direct swap. But it appears like Spurs are the front runners, and of course Brentford have had long-term interest. They've apparently made a £40 million bid, so Brentford and Spurs are having a bidding war over Brennan. In the ever-changing world of transfers, it appears like Brentford have now cooled their interest in Brennan Johnson. They're no longer the front runners. That bid was rejected by Forest, and it appears like Spurs are definitely the most likely destination for Brennan Johnson.
£13, I mean, I ain't got that sort of money.
I'm not paying 13 quid.
No.
He is a fantastic young player, and if this was last season, I'd be really concerned if we were going to lose him, because he was everything to us. His goals kept us in the league, and he's only going to get better from here on in. But I don't think if we lost him, it would be like disastrous. Like losing him the final week of the window is not great. You don't want to see that. But we've got Anthony Elanga now, who looks great. He really does. Morgan Gibbs-White is arguably more important, and Taro Wane is just outstanding at the moment and will continue to be. So it isn't like we haven't got any option. I just nudged the mic. It isn't like we've not got any options to make up for Brennan leaving. Plus, we could be getting in Callum Hudson-Odoi. This has been a rumour that was circulating in June time, and it kind of went a bit quiet. Fulham wanted him, and that went a bit quiet as well. And all of a sudden, Forest are now right back in the mix of it. 8 million. That is a bargain for Callum Hudson-Odoi. Now, of course, Callum Hudson-Odoi has kind of dropped off a little bit in recent years. He was fantastic when he first came on the scene at Chelsea. Made over 100 appearances for them, and he's only 22 years of age. Was out on loan at Bayer Leverkusen last season. Didn't do anything too spectacular. But I'm not just using this as a cliche. Steve Cooper is excellent at developing young players, getting the best out of players that were struggling. Jed Spence, massively out of favour at Middlesbrough, struggling, and he was rather good, wasn't he? Here we go then. Am I going to make the joke? Am I going to make the joke? Murillo, linked with us from Corinthians. Is this the way? It would only be 13 million if we were to get this one done. He's only 21 years of age and a centre-back, something we desperately need quite clearly with, well, currently Wall being suspended and potentially McKenna out, and we just need to sign a better centre-back anyway. 27 appearances for Corinthians. He's not even played that much for them, but he looks like a really good option, and Napoli and Manchester City have shown interest in him. So they're pretty big clubs. He just looks like an absolute beast at the back. Like, is he the Tyro of centre-backs? Like, I think he is. I really do. He just looks a monster, and this one does look like it is very close to happening. Apparently he's going to have his medicals soon. It looks pretty much a done deal, and I really hope we see this one happen. Wilfred Ndidi. I'm not sure what to think of this one. I don't know how much it would cost. When it was first reported, we had to pay about 20 million, which is mental. Don't do that for us, please. I mean, it's local for him, isn't it? He doesn't have to move house, probably. Like, he's literally just down the road. He struggled quite drastically last season, so I'm not too convinced. However, if we can get the best out of Wilfred Ndidi, you've got an excellent player there. He was brilliant for Leicester for a long time. He had over 200 appearances for Leicester, but he's been awful the last couple of seasons. But basically, since Leicester have fell off, he's fell off. Briefly talking about Nicola Dominguez again. I mentioned him last week, of course, but there are now fresh reports that we're going to offer around about £6 million for the Argentinian midfielder, plus Remo Freuler. I mean, thank you. Thank you very much, Bologna, for taking him off us, because he's not going to do much with us. Dominguez does look like a really sturdy player, really good player to bring in. And if we can get him for a small fee and offloading someone else that clearly isn't what we need, then I think that's only a good thing. And speaking of Freuler, he's also being linked with Monza in Italy. So a return to Italy is very likely for Freuler. I've got absolutely no chance of saying this name correctly, so I'll just let Google Translate do it.
Οδυσσέας Vlachodimos.
English version.
Odysseus Vlachodemos.
Right, okay, so apparently in English, this guy's last name doesn't actually mean anything. He's being linked with us. He's also being linked with Manchester United, so most likely he'll go there because United absolutely love just, kicking us in the face. He would most likely be a second choice goalkeeper behind Matt Turner. We really do need to get a second goalkeeper in, because without Turner, who has looked great for us so far, it's Ethan Horvath and Wayne Hennessy. I've not got any confidence, to be honest, in that. Apparently, we have made a £9 million bid for this guy, and he's made over 200 appearances for Benfica, played regularly in European football. It's a very, very good goalkeeper to bring in as a second choice. I would be lying if I said I've seen much of him before, but I mean, all the evidence suggests that this is a good option to bring in. Marcus Acuna, I can say that, I think. Sevilla left back, 31 years of age. We're just trying to buy Sevilla's fullbacks, really, aren't we? A very, very experienced, proven player, played regularly at the World Cup, won the World Cup just like Montiel did. Played 126 times for Sevilla. 31 isn't ideal, as I say. It's not long term. I don't think we do need a left back, really, don't we? I mean, I don't know. Nico can play there, especially with Montiel coming in at right back. I think we can survive without signing a left back, but at the same time I do also understand the need for it. I mean, this is quite a big name to be linked with, really. Like, he's been about for a long time, this guy, and yeah, very composed, 53 caps for Argentina. I mean, let's just see if this one happens. Now, of course, I mentioned earlier Sergio Aurier being linked with Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. The Saudi Arabia takeover continues. I'll be absolutely gutted if this one happens because, one, he's a fantastic player. I think he's a great guy as well, comes across really well and really invested in the club. But why would we let him go? I don't know why we'd let him go. It just seems stupid. Signed a new contract in the summer as well, so it makes even less sense. Al Nassr, I mean, yeah, they want everyone, don't they? So, yeah, I just think I ought to mention this, but I really don't want this one to happen. I don't know how likely it is. I've got a good feeling he'll stay. But, yeah, I just want the transfer window to close because I don't want him to leave. Lewis O'Brien, though, being linked with Leeds United. Of course, Ginger Shelby has been linked with them as well. But obviously, Leeds realised that was a monumental mistake, so they ended up signing, or want to sign, Lewis O'Brien. I really feel bad for him. He was excellent for us first half of last season, but then just everything went wrong for him seemingly, and he had to get loaned out to America. And he did very well for DC United, but yeah, he quite clearly isn't in our plans. He was on the bench against Arsenal, but not been seen since. I mean, will he be seen against Burnley? Don't know, we'll see, but he's been linked with Leeds. That is my transfer roundup for this week. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit the like button, subscribe to Rads if you know. We're doing a big roundup next week of everything, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, it's going to be hectic, I'm sure. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you on Wednesday for my Burnley vlog in the League Cup. Up the Reds.